Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste friends. Today's topic is on Chakra Dasha. This was inspired by last time we did a video some videos back on ALP, the Ascendant Longitude Progression. But then it is somewhat similar to the ALP, that is the Akshaya Lagna Paddhati that is prevalent by the group. And there are of course very many unique other features in the Akshaya Lagna Paddhati, as pointed out in a comment by our Mohanji. But I was not knowing about this Chakra Dasha. This was in fact referred to me by one of the comments by Sri Selva Kumar ji in our in the comment section for the other video on ALP. So I bought the book, and as he said, this is a very neatly laid out Dasha system of Parashara, where from they have gone into the slokas of Parashara and brought in to light the powerful Chakra Dasha. This Chakra Dasha, while going through the chapter on Chakra Dasha of BPHS, many slokas come to our notice and they write so, and they see that it is a conditional bhava dasa. In that sense, the dasha sequence would represent a bhava, particular bhava and antara bhava. So I thought to understand the book, I bought the book by it was from Meenakshi Priyadarshini Ashwini, and it's a original research. It's a Vani Publication from Delhi, and it was under the guidance of Sri Manoj Pathak, Sri K. and Rao's followers and descendants of their lineage. Very nicely laid out a book with excellent examples, worth definitely buying and going through. I thought to get an understanding of what is said in the book, let me try out an Excel file, and that is what I am going to present today. So Chakra Dasha is conditional Dasa. This is based upon the condition that, basically it is also a longitude progression of the ascendant. So the ascendant's longitude is progressed over 360 degrees, just as we did alpha. It is the same. In fact, even the progression rate is the same. It is 3 degrees per year. That means 30 to cover 30 degrees, it will take 10 years. So in 10 years, it will cover one sign fully. So to cross 12 signs, it will take 120 years, which is the Paramayu, the full age of a human being. So it is the same rate of progression as ALP. And here also they are progressing the ascendant only. And this is actually not something newly invented. This is in BPHS. They have correctly interpreted it and also checked for conditions, because in interpreting the sloka, they got some key in the in Parashara, saying that the Lord of the Ascendant, the second house and the moon sign, that is what is to be checked. So the conditions are for day birth, for night birth, and for Sandhya Kaal, they have different conditions. So what is this? First of all, day birth, night birth and Sandhya Kaal. For a given time, given birth, you have sunrise time, which is the dawn, and they ascribe 2 hours before that as the dawn start and 2 hours after that as the dawn end. So totally 4 hours around dawn is attributed as a Sandhya Kaal. And not only that, just as sunrise, even for sunset, 2 hours before sunset and 2 hours after sunset also come under Sandhya Kaal. So that will be again another 4 hours. So 4 plus 4, 8 hours are attributed to the Sandhya Kaal. And daytime is after the dawn ends, you start with the day, and it lasts till the dusk starts. So that is again 8 hours. Similarly, the night time is after the dusk ends and you start with the night, and it lasts till the dawn starts So it is again 8 hours. So you have the 24 hours divided into 3 different calls, which is night time, daytime, and Sandhya Kaal. So depending upon in which of these calls you are born, if you are a daytime day birth, then the Chandresha, wherever your Chandra is placed, the lord of that, the sign dispositor of Chandra, wherever he is placed, from that sign, with the same ascendant degree, we start the progression. Your life starts basically. So the ascendant progression is not like Alp. The ascendant progression in Alp always starts from the lagna. But here the ascendant progression uses the ascendant degree, but it starts from different locations depending on conditions. So it is a bhava dasa and it is a conditional bhava dasa. So if it is a night birth, you start from the lagna isha, lagnesha, which is the lagna lord. From wherever he is placed, that Rashi would be the starting point, but within that Rashi, it will be the ascendant degree of 30 degrees within 30 degrees. The sign degree within that sign is used as the starting point. For Sandhya Kaal, wherever the second lord is placed, that is used as the starting point. So with this, they keep progressing the Bhava. The book is very well laid out, and I thought let me make an Excel out of it. So that's how this began. Thanks to our Selvakumar ji who pointed out to this book, and the book has very many examples. So in a nutshell, Chakra Dasha is universally applicable. It is a conditional Dasa, universally applicable to all charts. It is a Bhava Dasha. That is the Dasha of the Bhavas, 7th Bhava, 8th Bhava and all that. It applies to all charts and the conditions that delineate is the time of birth. And as I already said that, let us go through the book. In fact, does a wonderful justice in bringing out multiple examples where they have given examples with Aries day birth, Aries night birth, Aries Sandhya Kaal. Taurus day birth, Taurus night birth, Taurus Sandhya Kaal, and so on with all your signs. They have examples mostly around Delhi born people and some abroad born also. It doesn't matter to us. So I have the DOB input in a separate sheet. One has to enter. If you want to enter, you can enter your. You can delete these things as well, or if you want to use them, use them. You put entries only for name, DOB, TOB. Place of birth is not required because we don't use it, but for reference you can add. But the time zone, latitude, longitude are to be put by the user. The rest of that are calculated. You don't have to touch any of the rest of the items. So once this is done, you come to this sheet, which is Chakra Dasha, and you can pull out whatever you gave as a user input, whichever native that you want to work on. So it will populate the date of birth from there using a lookup table. And here the definition of a year is, they have experimented with multiple definitions like 365, 65.25 and all that, and they finally, I think, have arrived out at 365.25 to be working correctly for them. In that book, but it is left to you. So I have also given you the choice for the definition of a year. And the progression rate, as I said, is 3 degrees per year, just as our Alp. Now I have 2-3 tables here. One table of this color is for the birth details, where the ascendant is calculated from the DOB input, which already calculates all the degrees. So ascendant degree is there. I am converting it to a degree within a sign, and all the details like Rashi and all that. Even all the divisions I have put in here, so that it would be useful for interpretation. Now, for applying the conditions, whether first of all, whether it is a Sandhya Kaal or night or day, we have to get the call details here. So it will determine the birth term, whether it is a dawn or this is done using a code inside. So it will automatically update to you depending upon the time of birth. It will also get the sunrise and sunset from previous data, and therefore based upon this it will find out whether it is Sandhya Kaal or not. So it is based upon that it will apply these conditions. To apply these conditions, it is straightforward. It will find out from which dasha the Rashi starts. For example, in this chart, this is a Cancer Sandhya Kaal. S stands for Sandhya Kaal, C and for Cancer. So Cancer Sandhya Kaal ascendant here. So I have erected all the charts here. Automatically it will do that. This is a Cancer lagna rising. This is a birth time. The entire chart is for the birth chart, but only the PDL alone, I would come to that later. So this is the lagna lord is moon, and the lagna lord now it is Sandhya Kaal. So the second lord is what to be checked. The second lord is placed in the 7th house in Saturn's house. The second lord's dispositor is it's Capricorn. Therefore the second lord, wherever the second lord is placed, that is the starting Rashi. So the starting Rashi is Capricorn in this case. Now within Capricorn, how many degrees should we start at? It is to be started at 26 degrees 40 minutes for this chart. That is the ascendant degree only you have to start. So how many years of Dasa balance is there? See, Dasa balance is, it is since 30 degrees. See, if it is just 0 degrees, you will have 10 years fully. Since it has crossed almost and come to last nearly 27 degrees, only 3 degrees are left. Only 1 year is left. So this is the Dasa balance. It is calculated by the system itself. So what is the Dasa balance? You can check with all the examples of the book, and this is very important because the Dasa balance is required, and this is what has elapsed, and this is what has is left further for it to cover, and this is the total. So based upon that, we are starting with the 7th Rashi, 7th bhava for this placed in this case. So it automatically puts in the 7 there. So within the 7 also, it would now the Antara Dasha has to start with 7, then it has to move to the next because the Antara Dasha is also divided into 12 equal parts. So it represents all the bhavas. So it starts with 7 and ends at 6 bhavas. All the bhavas from 7 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, everything together in the 7th. Now the birth would have occurred at some location here, and this is 8th February 1962. So I have marked everything prenatal, that is before birth, in this color of blue. So the birth starts after this cell, or 8th February 1962. There was a small break in my video recording. I am continuing. So this we are seeing the birth is at 8th February 1962, and that falls under 7-4 because 7-4 ends on 18 July 1961. Okay, then 7-5 then. 7-5 ends on 19th May 1962. So this is just before that. So 7-5 is the ruling Mahadasha and Antara Dasha at the time of birth. And then consequently, sequentially, he enters 7-6, 7-7 and all that, 8 and all that. And as we check his life events, his father passed away. It's given in the book that he lost his father at a young age of 14. So that was 1976, 18th May. So 1976, 18th May is 9-12. What a surprise. See, 9th is the house of father. It's all from the lagna. And 12 is a loss to him. And very surprisingly, this thing, so very nicely, it turns out in this Mahadasha, Antardasha exactly. And in case we want to look into multiple charts, here I have given, you enter the date. In this case, you can enter any date that is you are interested in. His father's death, if you were to check, 1976, there is some default number here. So 1976, May, so that is the month May, and enter the date also, 18. So this is the updated chart where PDL is the progressed Dasa longitude. The progress Dasa longitude is earmarked not only in the Rashi chart, everywhere it is marked now with this color. So you see, his Karkataka Lagna person, his Lagna Lord is in the 9th beautifully. When PDL was crossing the 9th house, you treat the 9th house itself as, wherever the PDL is, as the Lagna. And you can read the chart accordingly. In this case, if you want to justify, maybe look into D12 because it's the father, and PDL was in the 12th house to his natal Lagna. So, of course, in the D12, which represents the parents, from the D12 Lagna is the Marakasthana as well. So, we can reason out multiple things and check different events by putting in different dates here and reading the charts as normal. And in this I have assumed the Rahu Ketu to be mean nodes. In case you want to change that as true nodes, one can do that by going into the code inside and not given it as an option outside. And in case the date that you have given day, here we entered just now that it is 18th May 1976. You can enter any other date. And I have given the date entry at this location, which is copied here just for reference. And in case you want to just basically this table calculates for all those pictures there to the right. So these are all based upon this, especially the PDL table, the location of the PDL. PDL is the progressed Dasa longitude in the various divisions is calculated in this table. Rest are all birth data which is marked in the table. So this way one can use so there are three tables. One is the progress Lagna at any given time. This is one table. This is the birth table. This is the progression Dasa table. So these are the features that I have incorporated there. So for 120 years you can follow the Dasha, and not only that, you can even go back in time and follow when his brother was born, a elder brother was born, elder sister was born. That I have gone back only for the 7th bhava alone year, because I have used only 10 years. 10 years is one dasha. I have gone back by 10 years just to shift the dasha to the starting point of that 7th bhava. But in case you want to more time frame year to go back further, what you have to do is instead of 10, if you put 20, you will go to even the 6th bhava. If you put 30, you will go still back. So you can check those dates against the birth of elder brothers, elder sisters, even the birth of father. You can go back to any time. And it seems to be answering all this very nicely. So his marriage was on 19th February 1988. 1988, 19th Feb. 1988, February is here, March is ending here. He got married in 10-3. So when the 10th bhava is active and the 3rd bhava was active. So you can maybe justify it basing upon Navamsa and Rasi and all that. I leave it to you for the interpretations. I'm not going into all that stuff because you have plenty of things to validate from the book very nicely. So you can use this template to download and check for your own people, as well as going back in time, going forward in time. And another feature I added is, since we are going to put in multiple people here, in case it is better to have this chart for multiple people as separate sheets, you just click on the copy table and it would automatically create for the name of the person. Here is C and S, which you stood for in the book as a Cancer. This is Sandhya Lagna person in Cancer Lagna. So that chart alone is copied as a separate sheet. So you can work out for multiple people and just keep on clicking here so that it would create multiple sheets here, and you can independently use those sheets. You don't have to recreate them here. So that way is another feature that I have added. So in essence, this is a Chakra Dasha. Life is shaped by the eternal rotator of events. So our events shape us, and God decides what what's going to happen. So very nicely it is bringing out, because gems from Parashara are brought out in this research. I would strongly recommend you to buy the book and follow this, use this template to use the research usefully and maybe progress it to further research. Thank you. I have given the downloadable link. You can download the Excel. This is based on Excel 365. So people with that can make use of it. Thank you.